So, finally, after 4 seasons, I can finally talk about Stranger Things Season 5. It's been a long time coming, but I'm glad I took this long to do it, because I really wanted to marinate on exactly how I feel. This is, of course, once again created by the Duffer Brothers, and stars Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Gaten Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin, Noah Schnapp, Sadie Sink, Natalia Dyer, Charlie Heaton, Joe Keery, Maya Hawke, Brett Gelman, Priya Ferguson, Linda Hamilton, Carl Bruno, Jamie Campbell Bower, and Nell Fisher. Also joining, we have Joe Crest, Sherman Augustus, Alex Brooks, Jake Connolly, Amy Beth McNulty, Randy Havens, and Linnea Bertelsen. Set in November 1987, a year and 8 months after the events of the fourth season, our group of friends that we've been following for 10 years straight, since 2016, seeks to find and kill Henry, aka Vecna, following the opening of the rifts throughout Hawkins. Their mission becomes complicated when the military establishes a quarantine in town and begins hunting Eleven. As the anniversary of Will Byers' disappearance approaches, the group must unite for one final battle against the forces against the Upside Down. And this is a fight to sacrifice, love, and the choices that have to be made. Oh man, season 5, it's taken me until this summer to finally fucking talk about this season. And like I said, I really liked all 4 seasons. I just posted my thoughts on season 4 finally. You can check those out on YouTube. So, this 5th season, knowing that this was going to be the last season, had a lot to live up to in terms of bringing it all home, but also in terms of making sure this is a satisfying enough conclusion, because this season and season 4 has had a lot of crazy gaps between season 4 going through a pandemic. All of the actors have been fairly busy with work and projects at their other hands, and also due to the SAG-AFTRA and the pretty much WGA strikes going on at the time. So this season has been put through some pretty tests and trials during the production of it. But last year, we finally were going to get the final season. It was going to be all the way from November to December, with the finale premiering in theaters, which, considering how anti-theaters Netflix are, I'm actually surprised they chose to put their biggest TV series finale in theaters. But this has also been a lot of people's excitements and their worst fears. Because in the fandom of Stranger Things and TV fandom in general, you have a lot of people who love the hell out of this final season. And some people say it's flawed, but you know what? It's not the worst. And then you have people who have been going extremely violently criticizing the show, criticizing the weigh-ins, criticizing the lengthier run times. But you know what? This has also been a season that has been divisive with audiences. But I'm here to tell you, season 5 is not that damn bad. I do have just a slight few issues with it, but I don't think this season is as bad as people say it is. And I'm going to be as brutally honest as I can. And there's going to be a spoiler warning, because I'm going to give away just a few spoilers here, because I don't want to give it all away up front. I want to talk about a few minor spoilers. So if you have not watched this series, or season 5, go back to watching those, watch the show, and then come back. If you don't care about spoilers, if you want to hear what I have to say, go right ahead. But I'm just giving you a spoiler warning, so don't say I didn't warn you. And I'm going to structure this a little bit differently, so let's get into it. If I'm gonna start off, let's go into the issues first, because small issue, Linda Hamilton and a couple other characters doesn't get a whole lot to do. Now, she plays a military surgeon named Dr. K, and when I heard that Linda Hamilton was going to be in this, I immediately had a smile on my face. I was like, yes, we're going to have an iconic actress of the 80s, in the case of Linda Hamilton, coming into the world of Stranger Things. This is perfect. Let's see what she does. But her inclusion here, while I think she gives a great performance, and I think she is damn good as ever. Of course, Linda Hamilton is always a good actress in the things I have seen her in. This is Sarah fucking Connor, for God's sake. T1 and T2, especially in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That's her finest hour as Sarah Connor. But it's Sarah Connor, seriously. But the biggest disappointment when it comes to her is that it kind of feels like she's just here to try and get 11 and such. And try to stop these kids, along with this upside down situation in the case of Hawkins with the Stranger Things characters. That's what her inclusion kind of feels like in terms of her being here. Like I said, Linda Hamilton, she does good in here for this final season of Stranger Things, but it feels like you kind of brought her here just to do nothing with her. Again, I'm not gonna try to spoil too much, because as I said, I don't want this to be overly spoilers, aside from the things I really do want to touch on. And I don't want this to be over an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, even though you guys would all enjoy me talking about this type of stuff for 2.5 hours. Such y'all will probably be exhausted with it. But it kind of feels like we could have done a better way to have her in here as a military op, trying to help the kids and such. So it kind of feels like she's just here just to be here. You also have this character of Calais Prasad, which Lene Bertelsen plays her, and while she does what she had to do, she's good in her role. It kind of feels like they start off with her interesting, and they just didn't have the best way to handle her in terms of the character execution. She's just kind of there, just to kind of be there, and she kind of feels like a little useless. No disrespect to the young actress here, she does good in her role, but she's kind of just there. You could have done more with her. She serves her purpose. She does what she has to do. But it kind of feels like she is just kind of here. Also, there are some writing decisions and character decisions here that doesn't always work subtly for the story that you're telling. And there's certain narrative choices here, which when you watch this season, you'll know what we're talking about here, but it kind of feels like you're just in here just to kind of be here. And it doesn't fully satisfy 100% through. It's kind of just there here in that case. Some of the writing decisions and narrative choices, they're not bad for what you're getting here, and they definitely do serve their purpose. I just kind of feel like if we could write this a little better, we could pay this off a little bit better. And there are other choices in here where I feel like we're just doing this just to do it. Like, you have this whole situation when it comes to, there's a moment with Nancy and Jonathan, which this just really felt like we have to kind of do this just to do it. And I feel like that really doesn't really do a whole lot there. Now, The maturity side is here. It's not like we haven't matured or anything like that. I just feel like you could make this pay off a lot more, especially when we get to the finale. Also, Vecna, while I love Henry Jamie Campbell Bower and he's fucking great once again, he's still intimidating, he's still threatening, and he's still badass. Like I said, I will never take anything away from that side of things because he really does commit. Seeing what they do with Vecna in this movie, I mean, final season, when you get to the final battle, I was expecting more from him. Like, everyone gets parts to play in this last battle, and Joyce does get the upper hand, which I loved seeing that from Winona Ryder, because after everything that Joyce has been through, it is understandable. But my biggest issue when it comes to it is that we could have done more, honestly, in terms of this final battle. And not a whole lot of characters die, which is also something I can kind of understand. But at the same time, the Duffer Brothers, they didn't want to be like Game of Thrones. So it's just in that sense. While I definitely really enjoy seeing Jamie Campbell Bower come back and do his thing one last time as Vecna, and even with the voice that he puts on, where I am going to destroy everything in Hawkins. It feels like when you get to his end game and you do get to know more about him, some of the revelations is cool, and some of the revelation I feel could have done better. You could have done better, honestly, and overall, I did like it. But it's just, I was kind of expecting just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. It's not awful, okay? It's not the worst thing you can do in the world. It's certainly not bad. Because I definitely did enjoy Vecna here. And he does do what he set out to do. But I just wish that if only we had just a little bit more when it comes to him. I just feel the way we took Vecna out, I was hoping that there'd be a lot more to it. But you know what? Those people who are saying the way he went out in this finale, saying it's a waste or it's this or that, no, it's not. I was fine with the way Vecna went out. Again, like I said, besides Linda Hamilton's character and Callie, some characters do get a little bit sidelined to do more than others. And some here are just kind of here in the background. But you know, I think everyone for the most part played their purpose here. And again, I'm just going to bitch and complain about this once again. I bitched and complained about it when I talked about it in the season 4 review. And I'm going to bitch about it here. There is absolutely no fucking reason as to why we could have not made this final season a weekly thing because of the length of a few of these episodes. Now, they're not as lengthy as the ones in season 4, which, again, I did not complain about the length of each of the episodes, even though there were some spots in those episodes that was a little slow. No episode is slow here, really. It's just maybe we could pace a few things up better or this better. And the last thing I'll just say as a criticism is that I kind of wish we shot season 4 and season 5 back to back. I know there was a pandemic at the time. I know they had wanted to work on one season at a time, and I know all of the actors were busy doing other things, and I know there was a SAG-AFTRA strike and a writer's strike in 2023. So I get why they didn't film back to back, but it's just kind of a waste that we didn't really get to take advantage of that, because we could have did this like a Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2 situation. As the show grows, as though the characters grow, we could have them shoot both seasons back to back as one. So that's really just a small grievances, but it's not too many issues I have, despite some of the flaws I'm pointing out. So let's move on into the mixed category, and I mixed on some of the character work that we get to do here. Like I said, when it comes to Nancy and Jonathan, I was not a fan of what they did with them here. I don't really like the fact that we had to break these two up here. I thought it was just pretty lazy, and I thought it was just pretty dull here for them to do. Because Natalia Dyer and Charlie Heaton, they've been dating each other since for years, even during the show. But I just feel like, in terms of the way they choose to execute that and write that, wasn't really the most satisfying. I wasn't really that impressed with that, and I feel we could have did a lot more in terms of doing that if we were gonna do this. Also, I think some choices here were should have been looked through in terms of writing, in terms of what we do with a few characters here. So that, I will say, I can agree with. There's a few writing choices, a few structural choices. Well, I like this. You doing good with this, but there's also some where I feel like if only we just tighten this up a little better in terms of the writing and not the pacing. And for those who say the Duffer Brothers should never write anything ever again, or these actors should not be doing anything ever again, just fuck off, because you are in no position to tell the Stranger Things creators, or the creators of the show, or writers, or directors what to do with their own show. Just because you didn't get the finale that you wanted, or you didn't get a special episode, which Netflix debunked that very quickly after the finale. I'm so glad they did, because some people just want to act childish because you didn't get what you wanted. But we'll get into that when I talk about my thoughts on the finale. But I overall, there's some things here that I feel we could do a little bit more stronger here. I also will say I wish some new characters, like in the case of Nell Fisher as Holly Wheeler, which she's kind of taking over for the original actress. While she's not bad here, it kind of feels like she's just kind of there. But she does what she has to do. I think she definitely does do the best that she can in that. And I'll give her credit. She's fine here. Also, some like Jake Connolly, which I'm not sure if he's related to Jennifer Connolly or anything, but he was pretty damn good here, honestly. If he's not, then okay. As Derek, he was fun. And some acting is a little iffy sometimes from two people. First is Noah Schnapp, which I'll say more about him on the positive side. But for the mixed side, he is good as well. He's still good as well, but there are a select few moments here in this last season where you can tell it's either he just wants to be done with Will, or it kind of feels like he's not always given his 100%. And the same can kind of be applied to Millie Bobby Brown as 11, where, again, I'll talk more positively about those two when I go to the positives, but there's maybe a few moments here where it kind of feels like she just wants to be done with 11. She wants to move on to other things and other project opportunities. And so sometimes it kind of feels like she's just exhausted from playing 11. So her and Noah, they're not bad. I'll talk more about them positively. But that's what it kind of felt like when it comes to those two actors. But I think overall, in some of these new characters, while I did enjoy it for the most part, it's just when it puts them on the mix, is that I wish they had more to do. And like I said, in some of the pacing of these episodes, we I was on edge of my seat. None of them felt over long. Not even the finale, which is a 2 hour long finale, but it just feels like in some moments we could tighten it up a little bit in pacing and writing. That's all that I'm really am going into the mix side on, because like I said, I don't want to be here for 2.5 hours. This is almost an hour recording this. But going into the positives of this, I love a whole lot about this final season. I don't see what the big deal is with some people when it comes to this. Even in the Stranger Things fandom community, a lot of Stranger Things fans, a lot of people really do love how this goes out. For one, you get this sense of finality to it. You can definitely tell, like, this is the end. It's the very last time it's ever gonna be like this with these characters, and every single character gets a standout moment. They all get to shine. They all get to be the best that they can be since 2016, and they all just showed up and put their 110% in terms of the actors and these characters. Everyone in the acting community gets a huge respect. And like I said, I'm not going to go through all the list of actors again, but our original group, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, Gaten Matarazzo, Noah Snap, Caleb McLaughlin, Sadie Sink, Natalia Dyer, Maya Hawke, Charlie Heaton, Priya Ferguson, Joe Keery, Winona Ryder, David Harbour. Everyone gives their 110%. The returning characters and the new actors for this last season. No one feels like they're phoning it in here on the original side of the cast. They all went into this and they said, if we gonna end this show, we gonna end it like us. They weren't studio mandated. They didn't half-ass their shit. And they just brought it all here. In terms of moments of feeling tense and on edge, the budget for this show, this season especially, is massive. They took advantage of it. The CGI looks amazing in parts. There's a few shots where some of it could be better. The action sequences are bigger, badder, they're better. You feel the emotional stakes, even though you do wish that a few more characters have died here. But I think everyone gives it that 110% when it comes to it. The cinematography in this looks amazing here for the colors they play. A lot of red, a lot of the neon-like colors here. The action here is thrilling and exhilarating in a lot of parts. I love a lot of the emotional weight that we're adding on to this, because the scale is bigger and better than it's ever been. This is what the Duffer Brothers and this team have worked their ass off to do. And I think they did it with great intentions. I think they did it with strong capability, with strong teams working on them for each of them. The flashbacks you do get are really good here. You do get to see some great emotional moments here for all of our characters, including Mike and Nancy's sister. You do get some great moments in the case of Lucas being scared for 11 if she never comes back out of it alive. Directing each of these episodes by the Duffer Brothers and Frank Darabont and Sean Levy. Holy shit, it was great to see Frank Darabont's name directing the episode, because it feels like we've never gotten to see him anymore and such. But I was very happy with the direction. The music is definitely engaging. It's definitely thrilling. I love the score, each of the way the music plays out, the way they choose to plan out every single episode was great. It was awesome. And I loved the fact that they just said, we gonna have fun with this. And we got to see Mike become a leader again. We saw a lot of great things in this here. And the emotional weight that they put off is great. And there are a few characters like Argyle doesn't get to come back. And there's a few things here that doesn't really come here, but overall, I think everything really does come full circle. Like I said, Callie, despite how I felt about her, I thought the way they did her scenes were satisfying enough. And a lot of that was definitely really well done here. And despite the strikes and everything, I felt that 237 days worth of footage shot with 630 hours of footage that they did despite a lot of this crew and this team feeling fatigued, they fucking nailed every single thing here. The visual effects, the editing, the $480 million is up on screen. The soundtrack is great by Dan Romer and Rob Simonson. And the needle drops that they hit, especially with Purple Rain, which I was not expecting the Prince song of all things to be in this, but that was awesome. And just by the time I finished this final season, I personally felt fulfilled when it comes to this. And since we're about to go into it, it is going to give me a lot of chances to just finally go into spoilers, minor spoilers on some of these things I really felt. But you could tell that everyone here was giving it their 110% because they know this is it for Stranger Things. Even though there is a little cartoon and there's talks of doing a spinoff with new characters, aside from this main trio, this is it for a lot of these characters. And I feel like if they didn't give their 110%, this would not have hit emotionally as it did for me, because you have to understand, people. I was 17 going on 18 in 2016 when Stranger Things premiered. And here I am as a divorce recording, almost 28 as of finally recording this. Because I had to sit on this for months to figure out exactly how I felt. Because I wanted to make sure I processed it and took my time processing it. This was a big deal for me. From 2016 to 2025, this show was the talk of the town for me. Like I said, Vecna is still doing good, even though he is creepy. They take acknowledge of Vecna and how much of a threat he is. Even though I do wish he was done better in terms of the way he's being handled, I wish they just did better for him. So, in that case, I can definitely see what we are going on here. And that, for me, I was satisfied with a lot of what I'm going into. So, I was very happy with the way a lot of this is playing out. And I'm about to go into spoilers to a few things I really want to give my enthusiasm about, because I've been holding this off for quite a long time. So let's just jump right into these spoilers that I want to go into. Because like I said, I'm praising this final season to high heavens, because despite those small issues, they fucking nailed it. So let's talk about this right now. Because if I don't say anything about it now, I'm probably not going to get a chance to talk about this ever again. Spoilers ahead. Probably the biggest controversial thing that everyone has made fun of or judged since this season: Will coming out as gay. I don't have a problem with it, honestly. I do not have a problem with this. And for all the people out there who want to bitch and complain and review bomb this show, review bomb this episode, and review bomb this series, and just trash talk everyone who worked their ass off to get this show out for you and this season and this episode, and those who want to trash this one specific moment, I got some choice words for you in clips and of my own.
Stop! Stop it!
Why are you so fucking negative all the time?
I don't care! Shut the fuck up! Fuck you!
You know something, Gemma? You're exhausting.
Well, then you are lost!
Stay jealous, babe. Stay jealous, honey. Jealousy is a disease. Remember that, Diamond?
Oh my fucking god. The amount of discourse surrounding this. First off, those of you who did not have a problem with it as much as everyone else did, and who was okay with it like me, you're cool. But to all these people on social media who wants to review bomb every fucking thing or a scene like this, or who just want to criticize Noah Snap or the Duffers for doing that, I got some choice words for you. You're xenophobic, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're a weak ass little bitch, you're childish, you're embarrassing, you're pathetic, you're a grifter, you're morally weak, and you're fucking stupid. Yes, okay, fine. It is a little bit or two not necessary to not have this, but you know what? We've all been knowing Will's sexuality since the start of the show, and all y'all thought that it was gonna be Mike and Will together, when you know Mike don't get down like that. But I have never seen such disgusting behavior over a fucking moment in this episode. That scene didn't bother me. And let me tell you something, I do support the LGBTQ community as a heterosexual man. I may not be able to fight all their battles, but I can be a friend and an ally to that community. Some of you people just want to show your damn ass in homophobia and xenophobia towards not just them, but also anyone of minority or of color or of any accent, and I'm sick of it, and I'm through taking it. I'm going to make my stand with this today, because I'm glad I waited this long to get it out, because if I would have said it when the show ended, I would have freaking rushed into it. But I have family members, I have friends who are gay, bisexual, and I love them. One of my twin sisters, honestly, she's gay, and I love her. So watching this scene, and as someone who is connected emotionally with these characters, especially Will, it did not bother me, because there's already enough going on in the world as it is. But to judge someone for being gay or being from a different country in this world or such, there are way worse things out there. Way worse things out there in the real world than being gay or such. And this scene didn't really bother me as much. I was cool with it, and I thought it was nice. All of Will's friends accepted him, and that's all that matters, is being accepted. The number one thing you have to do in this world is be your natural self, whether you're black, white, Asian, Canadian, mixed, Latina, British, American, Irish, Scottish, Japanese, Taiwanese, Korean, even biracial. And no matter what side of sexuality you're on, be your natural self. Also, I can also say this as an autistic person. Be your natural self. That's what I took from that moment in that episode before the final battle. And it was nice to have a breather with all this crazy shit going on. So, I was content with it, and it did not bother me as much as it should have one bit, because I was accepting of it. I thought it was fine overall to have this type of thing. So those of y'all who just want to trash anything with LGBTQ or people of color or from different countries like all over the world, America, British, Australia, New Zealand, you really need to go get some goddamn therapy. You really need to put your homophobia and xenophobia in check, because it's that type of behavior why people can't fucking live their fucking life in peace. And I know I just turned this into a TED Talk, but this is my channel. I can say whatever the fuck I want, because I like this episode and I like the small moments, okay? I was okay with Will being who he is, and by the end of the series, he is accepted for who he is by his friends. That is beautiful, and I thought it was actually a really well done moment when it comes to it. So, all you people who just want to bitch and complain about that, y'all always bitch and complain. How about you go outside, go touch some flowers, get a woman, meet a man if you a woman. Go do something, pursue a hobby, get off the fucking grifters behavior and racism and xenophobia and fucking do something. There's so much to do in this life other than complain about something. But other than that, I really do enjoy that moment. And I didn't have a problem with it. We've been knowing Will's sexuality since the start of the show. And now that they finally chose to address it, you people want to bitch and complain about it. This is what I'm talking about. Some of you people are never fucking satisfied. But you know what? Did that moment needed to go on as long as it did? No. But I'm glad we fucking got it. I'm glad it's here. Because if he didn't... And plus, it was Robin telling him to overcome his fear. Also, Vecna told him to overcome his fear. And he is loved by his friends. So that moment... That's one of the big moments, spoiler-wise and controversial-wise. The second one, which I'll get to after I get to the one that I really do want to talk about, I was fine with it, honestly. I know some people on social media want to make a big deal out of everything, but come on, guys. We all knew this was day was coming since season 1, so I don't know why the fuck y'all want to trip. It's like, and I'm sorry if I made that whole rant as I was discussing that specific spoiler a freaking big deal, but it just kills me how we've gotten so far discussing in media literacy, even for YouTube and such, that people just want to show their ass on everything. Is the very reason why I have some frustration wanting to get my thoughts on out on movies such, older or newer. But the next thing I will be happy to calm down about, Max and Lucas. Why am I so happy about this, you may ask? Because Max finally got to woke up out of a coma, and this was the thing I was worried about, which thank God it happened. Thank God they actually did not choose to take and destroy. Lumax is officially in-game. They've been in-game since season 2, but here, the moments where Sadie wakes up and she sees that I saw you in there, this almost got me emotionally crying. I don't cry a lot with stuff, but I'm a man. I almost cried watching this because I do feel like we should be taking advantage of using interracial love in any creative way you can. I guess some people just are too scared to it. But to see an interracial couple on a Netflix TV series like Max and Lucas, it just gives me more motivation to find my own Max Mayfield or such, honestly. But to see them overcome everything is beautiful. But also, I think it's well acted because Sadie Sink and Caleb brings their A game. I'm already excited for the future of Sadie Sink. She's a fucking great actress, and she's my favorite character besides Lucas in this damn show. But she really brought her A game in the hospital scene when she wakes up, and also in the scenes that she had. Sadie brought it. I can't wait to see her in Brand New Day. I can't stress that enough. I don't care if I don't like her character, I'm gonna love her performance because Sadie Sink is a star on the rise. Another star on the rise, Caleb motherfucking McLaughlin. This man puts in that work. Like I said, he's been killing it all 5 seasons. And even outside the show, he's great in the GOATs. Give this man whatever the fuck he wants. Like I said, make him the new Miles Morales for the MCU or something. As people have been fan casting him before. Or you could put him in the DCU as Static Shock. I don't care which one, any franchise, give this man whatever the fuck he wants, because he is a damn good actor. And that could not be any more proven here than it was here. Goddamn, I thought he fucking killed her, man. Wow. Caleb McLaughlin and Sadie Sink, y'all, I want to see them do something else together in the future. They really brought their A game here. It's so awesome they brought it. And by the end of this, while Mike was doing the D&D thing, as they play one last round of D&D before they pass it on to the new guys, again, I'm in the spoiler side of this. I'm very happy they got their movie nights. And they got to remain a couple, which... young love, that's how it starts. It's beautiful, it's magical, and by each passing day, their love grows stronger. So that made me really satisfied, because I went into this worried that they were gonna undo everything. Max was gonna die, Lucas was gonna die. I'm glad they did not kill the black guy off, because how many times have we done that cliche? How many times do we have to kill the black guy off and the redhead off in these things? Especially in the horror genre. Let's retire that cliche and actually use a redhead and a black character to their fullest advantage. But that was just satisfying for me to just see all of that. And to see those 2 moments for me put a smile on my face. Now, the biggest moments of this show that I feel I can get into right now. And I'm just going to be honest on exactly how I feel about this, because we need to talk about this moment. And I've gone over 2 moments that got me. This one damn near broke my heart. 11 dies in this finale. And this is the moment where I see people going after the Duffer Brothers and Millie Bobby Brown and such the most. And plus, I did not have a problem with this either, because I was upset that 11 bit the bullet. I was hoping that this would be a situation where we did not have to see 11 bite the dust, or so we thought, as Mike chooses to kind of believe. But this had to happen at some point. They had to go this route at some point. 11 sacrifices herself with the song Purple Rain, of course, which is what they use. Again, this is the spoiler side, so don't say I didn't warn you. I told you at the beginning of the video. And each season has been Mike always trying to protect 11 and trying to make sure he has some kind of future with 11 post this. But this time, this is where, especially in the scenes in the head, where she tells Mike, I love you, I love my friends, and you guys are all going to be okay. The way they chose to write and act this out and direct this out, this was heartbreaking. I'll admit, this shit was devastating. Because we've grown with 11. We've grown with Millie Bobby Brown since 2016. And for all you people who harassed this actress, especially when she was a teenager, fuck off. Kindly fuck off. But this was emotional for me because, like I said, we have grown to love this character 11. We've grown to feel emotional detachment with this character, and to see her just give herself up, it's sad. You see everyone's reaction, Gaten Matarazzo's reaction to it, which in terms of his character of Dustin was sad. Mike's reaction was sad. Sadie and Max and Lucas react. This was a sad moment, and she is basically dead. And you see the fact that she's not graduating with the characters, and she just gives up her life. It's hard. It's devastating. It's sad. It's emotional. But I think it's also rewarding because we've seen this. I know some people say 11 should not have died. We could have done better in terms of getting rid of her. But at this point, with her having powers, there's almost no happy ending for her. Because no matter what you try to do happy ending wise, people are always just going to be on the run looking for 11. So I was okay with the way they choose to have 11 go out. I know some people felt otherwise about it, and that's fine. But after that, we see the graduation and we see the D&D. And like I said, everyone's been killing it this season. But when we get to the scene on the bench, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, but it's just that moment, 11 sacrifice. I think the Duffer Brothers, they did the best they could in handling that, which I'm going to give my thoughts on the documentary in this review as well, because I feel like it goes pretty damn well when it comes to it. But this was sad for me to watch because you know it's coming, and I emotionally connect with these characters. I know some people don't like 11 or such, but we've been with this character for a while. But that scene on the bench was excellent. And just the conversation that David Harbour and Finn Wolfhard has as their characters, I think is incredible. This was before, after the graduation, and the way that he gives this incredible monologue saying, you don't have to agree or understand what 11 did, but she did what she felt she had to. And he says to Mike, what happened is not your fault. And you have two choices. You can either let this consume you and push everyone away, or you can accept it. I've been down the road before, and I want you to choose the latter. And so even though Mike chooses the latter, but during that last D&D game, he still also chooses and believes that 11 is out there somewhere. And you're trying to hint that maybe 11 has found peace somewhere else. But at the same time, this is the last season for 11. As far as I know, the Duffers, they're not doing another season. Everything is resolved here. And as far as I know, there is no episode 9. So a part of me was conflicted at first when they left it up to interpretation on whether 11 is dead or whether she found peace. But I accepted that the more I've sat on it, because maybe some people, especially like Mike, you're not going to truly get over your first love when things happen. But it's been amazing to see all of these kid actors that we first took notice of in 2016, from Finn Wolfhard to Caleb Lawless, Gaten Matarazzo to Noah Schnapp to Millie Bobby Brown to Sadie Sink. To see them when they were kids, to preteens, but to also see them come into their own, it's been a hell of a fucking journey and a hell of a fucking experience with all 5 seasons, which I'm going to be very excited when we do get the physical media release of this show on Blu-ray and 4K. Maybe a DVD, I don't know. This is Arrow Video and such. But to see all of these characters who have grown and grown, and these actors who have gone on to have great potential in their careers. And I still think all of these younger actors have potential in their careers. And a lot of them are just getting started, especially Millie, Finn, Caleb, and Sadie. Finding other options past this. To see these characters and these kids grow. When it got to this finale, I was devastated after the aftermath of when we take down Vecna. I thought the finale was perfect, honestly. The way that very last shot with the kids in the junkyard, in the garage, our OG trio passing the torch down to a new set of characters. It felt like we closed the book. It felt like we've ended our journey with them, because part of the journey is the end. According to, if we're going to make a reference to Avengers Endgame, we all don't get to go home sometimes and just retire. Not for every character in fiction or such. And to see these characters who have grown, who've come into their own, is sad. It's devastating, but I'm fucking satisfied. And the last thing I want to touch on before we get into the overall thoughts is this documentary, One Last Adventure. Seeing the process of them making Stranger Things Season 5 was awesome. I thought it was fantastic to see the process of it, the writing process, seeing what their fandom was saying on Reddit and such. And no, they did not use any AI to write this ending. So for all you people who just think they did it, no, they didn't. I thought overall, this documentary is amazing. And I hope they put this on the physical media release, because this documentary just made me appreciate the process of going through season 5 even more. To see the table reads, to see them struggle during the strikes, to see them put everything they got into this last season. It's rewarding. It's beautiful. It's satisfying. And I think it's rewarding, because that shows how much commitment and how much dedication that they had to making sure the fans, even if they are divided on this, make sure they get the best outcome they could have had. And for me, who's been there since 2016, I felt this documentary was really damn good. I give this documentary an Epictastic, because I love watching behind the scenes stuff on my DVDs or Blu-rays or 4Ks or my digital copies, seeing the behind the scenes documentaries of the making of movies or shows, what goes into it, for better and worse. So I'm a sucker for this type of behind the scenes shit. But the fact that they made this documentary and you see the process of what it was like, especially when you're having to close out a well-beloved show that's been beloved and will forever be loved and considered by many as one of the greatest TV shows out there. Even I consider this as one of the greatest shows in recent memory. You'll have to see where it's going to end up when I do my eventual top 10 or top 20 favorite TV shows revisited. But this documentary was just so good, and it made me appreciate it. So to wrap it up with my overall thoughts, because this is almost an hour, and like I said, I don't want to be here for an hour and a half and 2.5 hours, because I got a live stream I got to get ready to do, and I want to get this finished. So Stranger Things Season 5. Aside from my small issues with the way they took Vecna out, a few writing choices, a few pacing choices writing wise and such, I thought that Stranger Things Season 5 is a badass and great way to end Stranger Things. This to me felt like a great wrap up to a 10-year-long journey that I've been on. A 5-season long story arc that I've been on with so many wonderful characters. Characters that are going to live on in my forever, despite how people feel about this final season. And a TV series that's going to live on forever. This was final season. It's satisfying for me to see all of our main characters that has grown and grown on this wonderful journey. Directing wise, visual wise, writing wise, character wise, acting wise by everyone, and so much depth wise, to where I feel like this is a nice ending to this series. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. A lot of work went into this turnout, and despite some divided responses from people on social media and the Stranger Things fandom, this is one of the greatest shows of all time in recent memory. And this season, I thought was satisfying from start to finish. It might have taken a few bumpy roads to get here, but for the most part, I was satisfied with the overall outcome of this final season. I think they nailed it perfectly, despite some issues. Everyone was on their A game, from Finn Wolfhard to Caleb McLaughlin to Sadie Sink, all the way up to Noah and Millie Bobby Brown. The Duffer Brothers did a great job concluding such a wonderful series. And overall, I was satisfied. I was very happy with how this turned out. I'm very happy at how this played out. And overall, Stranger Things, thank you for being a part of my last year of high school all the way up to my 20s. Thank you, Duffer Brothers. And thank you, Netflix, for taking the chance on the show with a series of characters that I really do like. Even though I criticize you a lot, Netflix, this is one of your better efforts. On my rating scale, I'm giving this a better than Vampire Academy. And that's how I feel. So in the comment section down below, this was almost an hour, but it was worth it. What do you guys think of Stranger Things Season 5? Please be civil. Whether you love, hate, or feel male on the show, let's talk about this. Let's be civilized. Did you enjoy this season? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere right in the middle? Again, spoiler warnings will be in the time codes down below. So, all my social media links to my Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, all of that is in the description box down below. If you would like to send any money to help financially support the channel, you can go to my Cash App for time. If you want to send anything from my Amazon wish list, that's in the description box as well. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when latest videos, live streams, and such are up. Otherwise, you won't be notified. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can be sure to share this and give this a 5-star grade with your friends. And as always, stay epitastic. And you guys keep it cool. Stranger Things, thank you for being a consistently great TV series, even with your issues. And you will be missed.